Let's get on to Test match cricket proper. It's not often the ICC get any praise, but I think they should be commended for their actions in giving 7 of the 10 Test playing nations $1.25 million each for the next 8 years to ensure they don't lose money by having to play Test matches. Now that's not just $1.25 million, that's on top of whatever else they get from the ICC split up. India, England, Australia don't receive this handout, obviously. Who would have ever thought this would or even could happen? It's a fact that these countries actually lose money playing or staging Test match cricket, and the ICC see this contribution as the only way Test cricket will actually survive as we know it today. To my way of thinking, it's fantastic, but it'll soon be 2 million, and then it'll be 3 million, and before we know, the well will run dry. There must be internal mechanisms within those 7 countries to actually ensure that they can improve the status of their Test cricket. What will they do with their handout to make sure people want to come along and watch Test match cricket? That is the burning question. Now, I'm no marketing guru, but I do know if you can get as many kids playing the game and along to the cricket, there'll be some very positive outcomes. Firstly, and most importantly, the next generation will begin to know and love the game. This in itself ensures the longevity of the game. Secondly, if the kids go, then the parents will have to go. They'll also spend money on food and beverages. So, let's attack the kids market. Let them in for free. Promote the hell out of the Test matches with the money the ICC is giving the 7 countries. Make it fun for the kids. Get the players involved somehow. Sit down together and find a template which will work. Be proactive. This is the best game in the world. Don't just take the money, make it work for you. In other words, get off your backside, cricket. Along with the 10 million the ICC are giving to the 7 countries, maybe they should spend a little more by getting an elite group of people together to both suggest ideas to actually review the way the money has been spent. It may take a little while to get it right in each country, but it will become pretty obvious by attendances and revenue streams which countries have embraced ideas and spent money wisely. Sadly, those who don't comply and can't get Test cricket moving in their country should be temporarily suspended from playing further Test matches. Another member could then have access to the ICC funding and have the opportunity of playing Test cricket. How can Test match crowds in South Africa be so poor? They have a magnificent team with arguably the best fast bowler in the world and possibly the best batsman. Yet no one goes to watch them play at home. Come on, you guys, get active. There'll be a time when your product isn't that good and you'll struggle to exist. Maybe the answer lies in participation. No longer can it be taken for granted that kids will pick up a bat and ball. We know that this has been the case here in England, where the competition from football is immense. Other sports in their traditional homes are facing similar challenges. Believe it or not, I read a recent Wall Street Journal report saying that although Major League Baseball is strong in the US, the casual player is vanishing, threatening the sport's future. Participation between 7 to 17-year-olds dropped from 8.8 million in 2000 to 5.3 million in 2013. The shift threatens to cost the Major League Baseball millions of fans, raising concerns about the league's future at a time when revenues are soaring and attendances are strong. The region is so concerning that the biggest predictor of future adult fans is whether they played the game. But why is that the case? Well, the president of a local Little League hit the phones to find out. Some parents told him their children were more interested in lacrosse, others in basketball or soccer. Some didn't respond to messages at all. Then there's a greater emphasis on performance over mere enjoyment. and exercise that has driven many kids to focus on one sport from an earlier age, making it harder for all sports to attract casual participants. Cricket needs to learn from this. There are many challenges that are common across all sports, but top of that list is about persuading more kids to play the game. Simple as that may sound, it's not an easy task, and there are many obstacles. As a grandparent, I see these challenges firsthand. TV and computer games continue to compete for kids' leisure time. Sport and physical education is not part of a child's schooling to the extent it once was. Communities are not perceived to be as safe as they once were, meaning casual street and park cricket are not encouraged as actively as when I was growing up. Parents are generally busier, work longer hours, and have less time to dedicate to their children's sporting interests. They're all very real factors we must contend with as we work to grow the game for participants and seek to generate more fans and an increasing level of interest and passion in our sport. Even in India, where cricket is still the biggest sport in the country by far, others have started to make a mark with several new leagues in football, hockey, tennis, badminton and kabaddi. The growth of cricket in India is far lower than other sports. At home, Cricket Australia's research of the late 2000s showed that cricket was becoming less relevant as a sport for kids, females, young families and Australians from non-English speaking backgrounds. Something needed to be done to get them into the game. Otherwise, the figures showed that cricket was on a path to becoming a minor sport as today's non-cricketing kids became tomorrow's adults and eventually future Australian grandparents. It also meant that Australia needed to be careful about focusing all of its loving attention on Test cricket while ignoring the fact that traditional cricket was not engaging masses of younger people. Now, T20 is not everyone's cup of tea, but the introduction of the Big Bash League has brought thousands of new fans to cricket. That's its role and purpose. And you know what? The kids are playing some form of T20 in their schools now. 10 years ago, very few schools played any organised cricket at all. So how we respond to these challenges around the world is critical. What we do today will be judged in 10 or 20 years when the jury of that era assesses whether cricket is still a fundamental part of our way of life or whether it's a minor, exotic, boutique sport played by a small clique of devotees fondly remembering the game's former glories. The handout can't be used to prop up areas within the particular country which need financial support. It must be used for what it is intended, and that's to make Test match cricket successful again. I really believe Test match cricket will regain some of its status once international T20 matches are restricted to a T20 World Cup, which will run on a 4-year cycle. And Wally Edwards, Chairman of Cricket Australia, believes ODIs should be called World Cup cricket, with every one-day game having an impact on which teams play in the next World Cup. He also believes that there should be no full members and associate members, only members. Everyone is equal and everyone has a right to qualify for any ICC event provided they win enough matches. And I agree with Wally. Now, the other thing I'm really hot on and believe must be addressed is over rates. Teams are asked to bowl 90 overs per day, and that's 6 ball overs. And they rarely bowl them in their allocated 6 hours. So what do? We beat that, we give them an extra half hour. And still they don't always bowl them. Now, I do understand that there are more reasons why overs take longer to bowl, what with the DRS, and the fact that players just must rehydrate every 5 or 10 minutes. Still waiting to find out that first cricketer in international cricket who died of dehydration, but it may happen, or drowning, one of the two. The public are paying for 90 overs in 6 hours, and that's what they should get. Now, the solution, and you're not going to like this, Cookie, is to suspend the captain. As simple as that. Sorry, Alistair. Sorry, Michael. Sorry, Stephen. Sorry, Mahala. Your team hasn't bowled. You're allocated 90 overs in 6 hours. You're suspended for the next match. It'll only ever happen once, unless they really don't like you. And it can happen. It happens in all other forms of first-class cricket. You can get through your overs. I'm absolutely convinced about that. Obviously, a little common sense has got to prevail there, but there are some extenuating circumstances, but we must do something about it. And here's a little note from me to the umpires as well. Don't let runners with drinks on the field unless a wicket has fallen and no time can be wasted. And the other thing is, if you're a batsman out there and you're not ready to bowl when the bowler's got the ball in his hand, he should be allowed to bowl anyway. Tell you what, you'd always be ready. That's not going to happen. Anyway, in the famous 1960-61 Australia versus West Indies series, and a lot of you will remember that, some of you won't even know that there was a 1960 or 61. The average number of overs per 6 hour day was 82, and that was 8 ball overs, which of course equates to 109.2 6 ball overs. Remember, the West Indies also had Wes Hall in their side, and he ran from the sight screen. So, in conclusion, I plead with the ICC not to legislate the characters from the game. Get the umpires and match referees to use good common sense when deciding on behavioural issues of players. Go back to the back foot, no ball law, and get rid of ball tracking for LBW decisions. Be strong with over 8s and the penalties imposed on offenders. Experiment with the one-day game, but most importantly of all, get kids playing cricket. This is the key to growing the Test match game. Now, it makes my blood boil every time I'm quoted as having delivered one of the best ever cricket sledges.